Welcome to the DynamicZip Introduction Demo. DynamicZip is a sales tax management software. In this demo, I will attempt to move rapidly through the more significant features of DynamicZip and provide you with an overview of how DynamicZip can make your job easier. DynamicZip has been doing this since 1995. DynamicZip integrates with the Microsoft Dynamics GP accounting package. You cannot use DynamicZip if you're not using Dynamics GP as your accounting software. First, the tax rates and zip addressing information need to be imported using DynamicZip into Dynamics GP. Here we'll take a look at a sampling of the tax details as they get imported by DynamicZip. So here's the detail, and then we have our additional records in the detail supplement. Now the tax schedules are imported based on zip codes, so the beginning of the schedule ID is the zip code, and here's a sample of that along with our tax schedule supplement records. When entering addresses in Dynamics GP, DynamicZip can optionally be set to skip the city and state, land on the zip code, and when you enter the zip code, DynamicZip will automatically populate the city and state fields. Then when you tab into or click into the tax schedule ID field, it will also update that with the correct tax schedule for that city, state, and zip. These same features of zip addressing and tax schedule selection are available in our utilities. Here we have preview or process of the address correction. Go ahead and do the preview here, and this goes through existing customers and validates their addresses, and if you hit the process button it will correct them. The preview report shows you what would be done if you clicked process. So at this point nothing is being changed. And we'll take a look at the report. The report breaks the results into groups based on what it's finding. And in this case we've got three groups. The top one is default city selected, which indicates there are multiple choices, but it's choosing the USPS city for that zip code. The second group there is where the postal code, the zip code, was not found in the zip address table. And the last group in this case is the single record, a single choice exists for that zip code, so it just selects that, or would select that single choice. The DynamicZip utility, assigned customer tax schedules, is much like the customer address correction utility. You can use preview or process. It goes through the existing address cards to assign the correct tax schedule based on their current address. It then prints a report, in this case showing the proposed changes since we chose preview. This report also breaks the results into groups. Now the first group here is the first valid choice, and what that means is there were multiple choices that could affect or could be in effect for that particular address, and it chooses the one that most closely or precisely matches. As far as if there's a city schedule, it's going to choose that one. If there is no city but there's a county schedule, it will choose that. If there's no county but there's a state, it will choose that one. The second group is only valid choice, and that's just like it sounds. There's only one choice for that particular combination of city, state, and zip, and county if the county is known based on the +4. The next group here is a statewide ID, and in this case it's selecting a tax schedule that is statewide rather than a zip code based tax schedule. These are most commonly used for zero rate states or single rate states. The last group here is tax schedule not found, and this is typically where the zip code has been entered incorrectly or something to that effect, and the there's no schedule found for that zip code. So these tax schedules get used when you're entering transactions in Dynamics. Here we have the sales transaction entry window, and we'll open up the sales tax summary entry window so you can see the details that have been selected for this transaction and the taxes calculated on them. This history that gets posted with this transaction will then be used for our reporting purposes. I posted that transaction, and now I'll run a couple of reports here to show you how they appear, how the transaction will appear in these reports. Our reports are very flexible, but we won't get into that in this demo. I'll just show a couple simple reports. The first report is a summary report by jurisdiction, and we've only got one jurisdiction in this case, so there's only one row in the report. This next report is by tax detail. So you can see here we've got a row for each tax detail. And if you had multiple documents, they'd get combined together so you can see the totals. Other features include customer taxability. You can set your customers as taxable or exempt, and that can vary by state. And similarly with inventory items or inventory charges, they can be based on customer in one state, non-taxable in another. So with that, I will conclude the DynamicZip Overview demo. I hope you have found it to be interesting and informative. Thanks for watching.